Whoa, what's going on? Hello, everybody. It's a live stream. I kind of like this music. It's kind of like hip hop funk beats. It's free music. You know, what are you gonna do? I can't afford to play Taylor Swift all the time. How is it going, everybody? There's some people in here that are like, oh, please no, let's talk about the Idol. That's all we're talking about. I know in the title of this is like Aftershock and whatever, some other stuff. But that's literally all we're going to talk about. So hopefully everyone's well. Good this fine Thursday evening. You can tell I said by the title, we got a couple things we can talk about, not a whole lot. We are in this weird time of year where not a lot of paintball stuff happens, but paintball stuff is happening. But we just seem to have a lot of news and rumors and stuff about more pro teams and pro paintball because it's the off season, and that's how it is. Old Soul, you're in here. Ben, hello. Schwartz, you're in here. Some Brandon, some regular dudes. How's it going? Okay, what are we going to talk about? Let's just talk about Aftershock. Let's just jump right into this. Chicago Aftershock, legendary long-term, maybe not long-term, because it did go away for a little bit, but Chicago Aftershock, legendary professional team, owned by Rennick Miller out of Chicago. Rennick Miller is still kind of involved with Aftershock, but not really so much. It's mainly being head up by, Jesus Christ, why am I blanking on names? Todd Adamson. Todd Adamson also played for Aftershock for a very long time. Who's saying there's no sound? Is there really no sound? I'm surprised nobody said anything earlier. Let me know if there's sound. What the hell's going on? I think there's sound. Now you guys are freaking me out. Sounds good. Okay. I don't know why someone's like, he can't hear her. I can't hear her. But then I always freak out. I'm like, you guys just gotta turn your headphones up or something, Sounds good. Awesome. What the hell is talking about? Aftershock and Todd Adamson. Todd Adamson purchased a professional spot earlier this year, or I should say late last year. We really haven't had any information. We knew they were going to use dye equipment. We've known that for a couple weeks now. But we recently got news about a new coach in Todd Martinez. Todd Martinez, I think, was, I don't know, top 3 coaches in the league. You could say maybe Dave Baines is better. Maybe. I don't know. They're both very good. I think I would respond more to Todd Martinez coaching style. So I really like Todd. Todd's been coaching for a long time, really since 2010. He's coached Infamous, Vicious, Breakout Spa, the Ironman, more recently Houston Heat, and then now he's going to go over to Chicago Aftershock. The weird part about Todd, though, is all that time coaching, those 13 years he's been coaching, he's only actually won one tournament back in 2020 when the Ironman won Las Vegas. That was a weird year. Were there 2 events or only 3? Something like that. But it's really cool to see Todd over there. It kind of I think, bolsters that team more. I know if I was a player, I would probably want to play for Todd. He's kind of proven that he knows what paintball is. He knows how to coach. He seems fun. I definitely like that. Playing pro paintball, not a lot of people are making tons of money. So I think having fun and enjoying the team you're on and that stuff's actually a big deal. And speaking of people on that team, earlier today, I almost missed this. I just saw this like right before we started this whole thing. But they have picked up, right now, 2 players they've announced. We can see right there Alex Martinez, or I'm not sorry, Alex Martinez is the owner of Aftershock. We see Alex Rodriguez right there in that AC Diesel jersey, which is a little weird. So Alex Rodriguez is obviously, I think, one of the better players that paintball's really ever seen. I think when he's playing well, he's just as good as anyone ever. Maybe like, top 5 players in the league. Weirdly enough, though, he went to join that AC Diesel squad, that jersey he's wearing there. and only played 3 tournaments. He did not play the last 3 tournaments of the year. I don't know how or why. I assume most of these guys have contracts and kind of should be playing, but I think he got frustrated like some of the other guys probably on the team of just their poor performance all last year. He also played for Impact for 2 years, 2021 and 2020. Was on Dynasty for 4 years and then kind of came back in 2019 for like 1 tournament. But seeing Alex Rodriguez kind of playing in the center on really any team will benefit from that. I mean, I think the one thing that we kind of worry about with A-Rod is his kind of commitment to the team. He's been jumping around a lot. I mean, like he only played those 3 tournaments with AC, and then has not really found a home, a consistent team the last few years. I mean, when he did go pro, he played with the Ironman for like 4 or 5 years, and then spent all that those 4-ish 5 years with Dynasty. So it's not like he's always done that, but I think maybe he's been afforded or had the opportunity to in the last handful of years, and he's tried that. It's just not really worked out for him. And there's also LJ or John Parrish, Little John. I don't know who Big John is. I'm not sure. LJ, I don't know as much about LJ. I mean, obviously, I think that A-Rod's more famous, so we kind of just know more about him. But LJ spent the last 2 years with X Factor, played 3 years before that with the Ironman, but also has played with Aftershock before. So he's not a new face to Aftershock, also not a new face to the guys kind of running up that program, right? I'm pretty sure played with Todd on Infamous, or coached with Infamous and Todd or something like that. And then also, Todd Adamson is familiar with him from his days coaching or from his days with Aftershock previously. They also had a bunch of guys at their tryouts. They had a tryout last weekend, a closed tryout, I believe. I think it was invite only. At one point I heard all the people that were there, but we definitely had Carlos Cortez, a extremely good Snake player. Nick Sloviak was there, and Keith DeVitt. So it kind of looks like they're kind of like picking up or trying to input some of those Ironman guys. I think Nick would be a very good pickup for them, as well as Keith DeVitt and Carlos. I mean, all 3 of those guys are very good. I really like Keith DeVitt, though. I really hope Keith DeVitt kind of finds a new team to play for, and find somewhere he like fits in. I really like his playing style. He's just really good. Chicago Aftershock also, these are all sold out, but they actually released 100 of these limited edition I was going to say Shocker RSXs for some reason. the Die DSR Plus, and this is coming with a bunch of upgrades. I believe they were $1,200 or $1,300. For some reason, I did not write this down. But it's coming with the Ironman Pro kit, so it kind of has all the upgrades that you would want on a DSR. But they've sold them all, so they sold them all extraordinarily quick. And I don't know. What do you guys think? What's Old Soul says? A-Rod and LJ is a great start. A-Rod is a force when he's in the flow. You bet. I mean, A-Rod going up the center is like one of the best players ever. So I'm at least looking forward to seeing, what other players they pick up and just how well it goes for them. I don't know. Dub C. Dubs. Look at it. Old videos of Todd is weird. He's so young. Oh, on the short bus videos, I really liked those short bus videos he did. They're really funny. And like I said, I think I would respond well to Todd's coaching style, because he's serious, but wants to have fun and joking around, and I don't know. I just think that kind of like goes in. Andy Skiba says, "What the hell does TBH mean?" I don't even know. Most of these like internet acronyms, I don't even know. Two bad hands. I don't know. To be honest, there we go. I knew someone was going to help me out. To be honest, if they get 50% of the guys that practiced, it'd be a sick squad. Yeah, I mean, even just like those 2 guys, right, that we're sure were on their roster. And if you had Silos, Nick Sloviak, and Keith DeVitt, I mean, that's probably pretty good. But I think we saw the same thing with AC Diesel, right? I mean, AC Diesel has like the craziest roster ever. They had A-Rod, they had J-Rab, they have Kyle Spica, they have a bunch of other people that are really good that I can't think of quickly. And we expected them to be really good, but nope. We see that in a lot of sports. So I think that what's more important is just those teams and players playing well. And like I watched yesterday on I guess Todd Adamson was on the Spick and Span show, and he was on the Play the Game podcast. And in one of those, he was talking about trying to make a team that's just a bunch of friends that actually want to succeed together. And I think that's what's more important rather than having, just a bunch of like superstar all-star players. Having everyone like buy in and be on the same page and actually want to do well, I think it's way more important than just having a stacked roster. Yep. We see that in, we see that in regular sports all the time. Mexico on the house. Cheers. Mexico's kind of like under the house. Canada's sort of more on the house. Dubs is like, Brad, old AF. What does AF mean? Always starting fights? No. Brad. I don't know. We'll let it go. Corey Wilson says, looking like some great weather this weekend, albeit Capital Edge on Sunday. So will I. I don't know what I'm going to do. I actually meant to, last weekend, we took was the weekend before? I don't know. Took the Shocker Era out, and then I totally forgot to, like, move that bolt O-ring around, because there's, like, a bolt O-ring you can change to make it, like, higher flow to, like, work with mechanical guns better or something like that. And I totally forgot to move that O-ring and test it out. And so we got to go back to the field and film it again and go actually shoot paint through it and see how it goes. So we'll see how it goes. Someone said Big Nick entered the chat. I missed wherever it went. Nick Sloviak. Yeah. Hopefully you're on Aftershock. I don't know. Who knows? What else can we talk about? We got Aftershock. I want people to talk to me in the chat, so give me something to talk about. Like, talk to me. They'd be such low-key. Nick Sloviak, move to chill in the stream. There'd be such a low-key. I don't know what that means either. You guys are like too young, and I'm not hip anymore. Not that I ever really used any slang in the first place. Greetings from Montana, David. Hopefully you've bared the worst of the cold that this winter has to offer. It was a beautiful 65 degrees here today. Finally. I think it'd been raining for like a week. It seemed like. New dye gun thoughts. I don't know. We've talked about there were those leaked pictures or whatever, leak renderings of the M4. But I don't know. I don't know anything other than that. I feel that like the new dye gun will probably be very similar to the DSR Plus. Nick Sloviak, that guy right there, he probably knows. I assume. It'd be weird if he didn't. Brandon, what do you think about X Factor? I haven't heard who they've got left or who they picked up. I don't know. Let's go look. One of the things that I really like are that, let's go to this and do this. Over at Iconic Paintball, they've actually kind of been keeping track of all the like off-season moves. We have general and Excel moves. San Antonio X Factor, though, I don't know how up to date this is, but we definitely know Tom Guest left. Tom Guest was one of their better players. Oh yeah, that's right, Matt Jackson. So they've got Matt Jackson. Cody Makowski is leaving, and then Tom Guest is leaving. And John Parrish. I guess that should put that right there, right, too? LJ. I don't know. It seems like they just have a bunch of the original kind of guys left still. I mean, Cody Bayless is played with Aftershock or X Factor before. I mean, but they still have Billy Bernaccia, TJ Danner. Meter, John Parrish, not there. Man, they really kind of are lacking on their roster. Although I think, honestly, picking up Matt Jackson can fill in at least a spot that Cody plays. I think that Tom Guest is probably going to be their biggest loss. Mainly because Tom's been playing extremely well up that center area. So X Factor. There's also over on PB Nation in like their news area. There's like a good like, I don't know, post about who's leaving, and they're keeping track pretty good over there too. Brandon says X Factor needs to do an open tryout again, like the old roster series. That was really good. It was very fun to watch. Who won that? And I even think that the guy who won, I'm blanking on the name of the person who won. Jesse Stevens, maybe? Jesse Stevens, I think. And it was a very fun thing to watch, and it was cool to see him, like, you know, follow the whole tryout system and all the stuff. I really liked it. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Someone in the chat said, Kenneth said X Factor picked up Axel. They totally did. That's exactly why I have that right there. I don't know why I totally blanked. Axel Gaudin, yeah, I mean, he's huge. I mean, having Axel over on that roster, playing over on that Snake side, I mean, you can see that they don't have tons of Snake presence. I mean, you could say that Meter kind of plays Snake. He's maybe more that second attacker in the Snake. Billy Bernacchi is certainly the first attacker. But can probably play either of those positions. He can play like that first guy in the Snake or kind of play that support role. But certainly having Axel Gaudin play is a big deal, I would say. Axel is one of the better players in the NXL, played extremely well with Impact the last 2 years, although did leave at World Cup to go play with the Tauntauns when they were invited over to play in the NXL Pro division or whatever. Axel's very good. I actually wanted to, like, wait a minute. That's why it doesn't make no sense. I really liked this video. That there is a link in the description if you guys want to watch this entire video, but GHW Media put out from last year at the European Championships over there in France. Why is the, like, I guess this is my problem. That black bar on the bottom right there is weirding me out. Yeah, but obviously having Axel, like I said, is going to be a big help, I think, to X Factor. Although I don't really know if X Factor, they didn't really need the help. I mean, I think that they were good last year without him. But I think he should be a very good improvement over on San Antonio X Factor. So, I don't know, let's just let this roll. Ben Lawton with that super chat, sir. We're going to switch back over now. What did you say? Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm trying to change this whole freaking system here with that $5. Thank you so much. I can hear still gameplay going on. After watching old paintball bids last week, I'm curious whatever happened to the Naughty Dogs. I was out of the sport when they dissolved and folded. You know, I don't entirely know. I don't really remember. I couldn't tell you, and I don't even remember when it was. I mean, it was some time ago. It had to have been at least 2012 or something like that, 11. Because if I'm not remembering incorrectly, I don't even think that they ever played in the PSP or the NXL. I think the Naughty Dogs were always primarily like an MPPL 7-man team. It was head up by Rocky Knuth and his brother. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But they did kind of come back. I can't fully remember. They weren't called the Naughty Dogs. Look at my hand. They weren't called the Naughty Dogs, though. I mean, like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, Rocky and his son started a team called something Dogs. And I think they were playing like Division 2 or something like that. WCPPL, but I don't really know. I mean, the Naughty Dogs were one of the more like huge teams, you know, for a long time. What does that 10 mean on your like name right there? Like a 10-year anniversary? It can't be 10 years. 10th super chat on a live stream. Oh wow, cool. Thanks. So Naughty Dogs. I don't know what happened to Naughty Dogs. We still got this playing on in the background though. That light just switched for me. We'll let this kind of play. I'll talk over this. We'll look at the chat and stuff. David says, if you had unlimited sponsor funds and could push a format to the forefront, I can't read, which do you think stands the best chance to grow paintball? Certainly one-on-ones, no question. I mean, we can watch it right here. You know, one of the hard things about paintball is you don't know what the hell to look at. You know, I mean, like, there's like 45 things to look at. You're like, there's just too much stuff going on. So I think for growing paintball and for us, you know, that are just paintball players, I really like this one-on-one format. I mean, I've talked about that kind of a lot in the last few months. We had the Hormesis thing that kind of like spurred on me talking about it again. And there's been a lot of good like Hormesis videos they've put out for their one-on-one stuff. Like last week we watched Yosh Rao and Alex Fragi play. There was Greenspan playing an X Factor guy, an old X Factor guy, Archie Montemayor. So I really like it. I think it allows us to just focus in on players. You know, you can just makes it a lot easier to focus. It makes it a lot easier to tell a story about what's happening. So I'm all about the one-on-ones, and I think that if I could choose a format, I'd do one-on-ones. I think that more people need to do one-on-ones. Brandon says in the chat, bring back the Flag ID Invest. In the glow ball they're doing at Fit and playing mechanical. The Flag ID Invest. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Thoughts on which team's players benefit the most from the 1,000 new snake beams? Well, I don't know. I mean, this guy will probably benefit because Axel's like up to here on me. Let me see. Yeah. Probably about to my nipple, you know? I mean, he's like 4'2" or something like that. So any of these really short guys are probably going to benefit from having all the snake beams. But we don't know, really. I mean, who knows? I mean, we haven't even seen any layouts yet. So it very well could be not all that much different from the previous layouts. We'll have to wait and see. And, you know, this layout will be out in a few weeks here for NXL Las Vegas. So we'll find out then, I guess. I'm going to switch back to that really fast. I want to make this stop playing. That's all. Yeah. Dubs is like, 10-man is where it's at. Casual fun, but also aggressive, and you can win it for a team. I love 10-man. You know, I really enjoy 10-man. It's just so hard to watch. You know, if we're talking about like, you know, watching like, you know, paintball, it's so hard to watch. And Old Soul says, I'm suspecting a double ladder snake this year. You know what they were trying to like... I don't have a way to like show this. Let's just go to this top-down camera and I'll kind of like illustrate with my hands or something. One thing they were talking about is like, you know, say my phone is like the brick or something. You can see the microphone. You know, say my phone is like a bunker and we're, you know, going this way down the field. So we're shooting this way down the field. One thing they kind of talked about was putting like two beams like this. So you could go and play on this side of it, or you can go play on this side, or possibly having like a beam cut off so you can like kind of choose which area you have to play. I think that could be interesting. It just kind of makes it a little bit more choose your own adventure-y. So maybe we won't necessarily just see a bunch of snakes. We might see like snake beams leading across the field to another bunker or something. So you could be at one spot and then maybe like crawl and then get to another spot. Like, say, traveling from the center 50 over the center Dorito or something. I think that would be interesting. But we'll have to see, and we'll have to wait to find out. What else is going on? I just really liked this gun. I thought this looked really cool. This is a Adrenaline Lux anodized by Arc Anodizing. I think I've sent stuff to Arc before. Yeah, I've sent guns to Arc Anodizing, and I've had a few friends that have gone through Arc Anodizing. It just looked really cool. Saw it on Instagram, and I was like, let's just show people this. So it's nothing, it's just a Adrenaline Lux TM40. Just with really, 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 really cool anodizing. Like, look, it's all those colors, and there's actually like a pattern. They actually like stuck with a pattern. You can kind of see how it's like matted off. So it's like dust and polished. It's like a dust polish splash or something at the top in the front. It just looks fantastic. That's about all. You've dated yourself saying choose your own adventure reference, Brad. Don't notice that I picked up on it. I never really done any of those things anyway. I know that like Netflix is like they're like trying to experiment with like I don't know, movies. They let you kind of pick which ending you want to do and stuff. That could be kind of interesting. Reminds me of Deadmau5's Wrapped Lambo. That guy's a character, isn't he? Crazy. Joshua says, Adrenaline is coming out with a new idol. Adrenaline. Yeah, that they are. That they are. I mean, who knows, though? I mean, I thought, I was kind of hoping we'd see the Lux Idol by now. They keep saying it's... Just saw a text message. They keep saying, it's going to be the end of the month. And, we've only got like 5 days left until it's the end of the month. So hopefully we see the thing soon. I don't know. I have a feeling it was supposed to be out a few months ago. But they kind of blew it on that one. Yep. Speaking of Lux Idols, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna push people to Patreon. I struggle to make money doing this. It's so hard to make money in paintball, and especially hard to make money in YouTube paintball. So I would love to people at least check out the Patreon. There's a couple different levels you can sign up. You can join for free, but you're probably not going to get all the cool stuff. There's a few different supporter level. Why is this like yellow? There's a few different levels on here for $1. You get nothing, but you're just, helping me out a little bit. Then there's that $5 silver level. You can get early access to videos. You get ad-free videos, exclusive content. So like special stuff only for Patreon. Like there's some stuff on there right now that's specific only to Patreon. The testing of the Carbon IC Nano Power Barrel is specific only to Patreon. Can I like fast forward this preview? That's just a preview. There's some other stuff on there too. There's me breaking my Shocker era. So you can get some exclusive content in that silver category and then also in that gold category. The only thing that's really going to separate these is in that gold category, that gold tier, you're going to get the entry to monthly product giveaways. So like last week, was it last weekend? Yeah, last week. Nope. Last week? Last week, gave away that Carbon IC Power Nano Barrel, wherever it is. That right there. And then next week, or the next live stream, I don't know what I'm going to give away yet. We got to figure that out. But it's going to they always take place on the third Thursday of the month. So if you want a chance to win some stuff, you want to get some like, don't want to watch ads on YouTube, you can get exclusive videos, you get a special Discord role, Definitely check out Patreon. I want to keep doing this, and I gotta make money. Check it out. Someone with an amazing super chat as well. Eli with that $2. I appreciate it so very much, guys. Thank you so much. Sup, y'all from Texas. Well, hello from the Lone Star State. Actually, not hello from the Lone Star State. Hello to you in the Lone Star State. Check out Patreon. Ben says, I wish Netflix would experiment with having content to justify their membership price. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't always have super new stuff on here, but certainly stuff shows up on there earlier than anywhere, and I'm really trying to make like exclusive content. And what made me think about this was, and there's a link in the description too if you want to find this. What made me think about it was the idol, because I definitely want to do some specific stuff with the idol. Like we'll have probably a longer version of the shooting video on here, maybe some longer versions of gameplay, possibly behind the scenes stuff. I want to go to the paintball field and we kind of film some behind the scenes stuff. There's somewhere in here some behind the scenes clips from the last time I was paintball field. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. Yeah. I don't know where the hell that made me go. There's adrenaline right there. I can tell you one thing. If you watch Brad's main TM40 review from 2 years ago, we changed at least one of the things he wanted changed. I don't even know what those things are. I think that they probably should have changed that on the regular one, though, right? That's crazy. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch the... I'll have to watch the TM40 review and see what actually happens there. I think you guys should send me a TM40. I'd like to own a TM40. Not a TM40. I'd like to own an Adrenaline idol. I had an Adrenaline Angel LCD, the Lifesaver. We've talked about that before, though. The Lifesaver Angel LCD. It was so cool. I had a matching Freak barrel kit. Yep, I had a matching Freak kit. It was cool. It was, so much money. We talk about like paintball guns being expensive now, and it was just different back then. That thing was probably like $1,700 or something like that. And that was back in like 2000. So that's back when, you could buy a house for $100,000. Now houses are $1 million everywhere. Maybe not. You could get a pretty good deal in Geary, Indiana. Hopefully no one's from Geary. Love the Lifesaver. Was a huge advantage over other guns back then. I don't even remember really. It just was really nice. I always really liked the like Fang trigger or whatever. Not the Fang trigger, the like Snake trigger or whatever. It was really cool. Old Soul, I hope you got good money when you sold that. I don't know. I truly don't remember. I probably got what it was like worth. I know that I sold an Angel. I sold an Angel G7 Fly once for like probably twice what it was worth because I had a bunch of prototype parts in it, and then I got in trouble for selling it. It went to Germany, so I don't know where it went. Who knows? The Snake Tongue. It was on the TM40 as well, if I'm not mistaken. That's Snake Tongue, not the regular TM40, but the Adrenaline TM40. Yeah, right. Look, we were just looking at one, right? What happens if I do that? Yep, there it is, right there. You can see it right there. The Snake Trigger, right? Is that what it was called? I don't know. It's got to be what it was called. Something like that. The Snake Tongue. Such a fancy thing. We also had some other pro paintball news. We had a person that we've kind of been talking about kind of a lot. Leo Samotrov, or Leonid? I don't know. Leo Samotrov played for Russian Legion for a super long time, many years. Maybe not many years, maybe like 5 years or something like that. But he did not play last year with Red Legion. He did play in the European NXL League with FSU, I believe, the last tournament. And then he's also going to play the rest, or he's going to play next year, or this year, 2024, with FSU, Austin FSU, also over in the NXL European League, which is definitely good for them. I mean, Samotrov is one of the best players in the world. He's extremely good. And then Brandon Short, longtime Dynasty player, played with Dynasty for like 9 or 10 years or something like that, and spent 5-ish years with the Ironmen. He actually coached the Latin Saints last year. He's going to be coaching this Austin FSU team. And Austin FSU is kind of like is affiliated, certainly. They're the same owner and same kind of organization as Austin Notorious. But they kind of have a different roster. Not all the guys from Notorious are going to play on the FSU roster. I think they actually only have one guy going over there. What do I feel like, dude? I'm totally like, did not get all the images that I wanted to put in here. Dang. Oh well. We'll just put Samotrov back up. I'm looking for something. I don't know. But at least we know what happened to Samotrov. Everyone was kind of like curious of what was going to happen, but it looks like he will not be coming back to the U.S. still. I think it was just all mainly visa problems. You know, Russia's having their thing over there, and it's getting weird. So I think that they've kind of struggled with some visa stuff. I know a lot of the Russian guys have like stayed in the U.S. And are living in Florida. There we go. So we'll see. Collegiate paintball is back. Thinking about doing up a group. You know, I tried to look into college paintball, and you know, I never knew what was happening with that in the first place. So it's like, it's hard to even for me to even talk about it because I don't know anything about it. I know that they used to play at World Cup all the time, and then I heard that they left, and then now, but they didn't. I don't know. I was so confused by the whole thing. It was very weird. Rebel Force, you said, if you have seen it already, MVPS, I don't even know what that stands for, but the league in Florida dropped their layout on their Winter Classic event. It's wild, to say the least. Tell me what you think. Teammates and I have no idea how to play it. Well, let's look. Let's see if we can find it really fast. Oh, Jesus. I had it, then I disappeared. Maximum Velocity Paintball Series, that's right. I see a super chat from somebody. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. I think I'm probably gonna have to be logged into Facebook to actually see this though. Well, I guess not. It's just all these stupid freaking pop-ups and stuff. Let's drag. Let's do this. Yeah, that's gnarly, dude. Wild. I see a super chat from somebody. We're going back real fast. Derek Rose. I just picked up a Paintball Ruin My Life star headband. Hell yeah, you did. That right there. I appreciate it so very much. Headbands are, you know, another way. One of the 48 ways I feel like I make money on here. And you can, if you guys want to check out headbands, we'll come back to that layout in a second here. You can head over to paintballruinmylife.com, or you can go to pbrml.com/shop. It'll take you right there. You can get headbands for only $30. You know, they're very well made. I like them a lot. And they're only $30. You can get a 3-pack for $75. Very good value. There's a whole bunch of colors too. I mean, you can see that there's like some crazy bright colors. You have that one on the left, the Olmec. They're kind of like, you know, a little bit more easy on the eyes or something. That one I'm wearing on my head right there is called Explorer. Although there's very few of those left. I like that one on the left, the Grime one. The Grime's going to be kind of similar to that Stars one. The Wave one on my head right there. You got the all over print. Those have always been popular. People really like those. Paintballruinedmylife.com or pbrml.com/shop to find all your Paintball Ruined My Life headbands. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Bam, that right there. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, we were talking about all those snake beams, and this has got a lot of goddamn snake beams. How many are they using on this? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 snake beams. Look at all the bunkers, though. Like, there's so many bunkers. I want to see one of the back angles. My God. Dude, that's crazy. That's the wildest layout. Let's save this image, and then we'll open this one up too. It's insano. I don't like the big-ass white borders on everything, though. Let's do that. Crazy. But then I can't see the corner. I guess there's nothing over there. That's a lot of bunkers. A lot of bunkers. And then they put like stand-ups over on the sides in the snake. Like, that's crazy. Dude, I don't even know. I know that I'm probably trying to go to that 50 snake off the break, or like not the 50 snake, but like the first tall stand-up on the snake side. I mean, it looks like you can probably go to that thing fairly simple. There's just so much stuff in the way. I mean, you know, the NXL talked about adding more bunkers, and good Lord, I hope it doesn't look like this at all the tournaments. I don't really think they need to use them all. And look, there's no snake corner, which is very interesting. So it's going to be extremely difficult to probably stop that snake player from going down the field. I mean, if you don't have people shooting like in between the gaps in the snake, waiting for someone to move, it's going to be super hard to shoot those people. I mean, the Dorito side's insane too. It just looks so compact. Like everything just looks smashed in there. Wild. I mean, it's definitely a crazy layout. I think that I would like to play this. You know, I really like those like kind of crazy and like wild layouts. I think they're kind of fun, but man, I know a lot of people at the same time, they're like, well, we go to these tournaments and we spend all this money and do all this work, and then you make these insane layouts. But it's like, yeah, well, everyone's got to play them. It's not like you're the only person that has to play the layout. It's like everyone's playing them, so. My gosh. No back center. I mean, obviously people are going to go to both these cans. And then probably that, like, cube with that, like, with that baby cake right there out of back center. And then I'd probably send a guy all the way up the center and then cut over and then try to make it into that 50, I think, off the break. My God. I don't know. That's wild. It's definitely one of the craziest layouts I think I've seen in a long time. Wayne says, looks like fun field. It does. You know, anything crazy I'm all about. Snakeside looks insane. I meant to go to that button. There's just so much stuff. I don't think I've ever seen like this many bunkers on the field before. It's crazy. But to be fair, I mean, it is kind of nice. It is kind of neat that there's like nothing really super tall in the center. I mean, you have, it's not like they're standing up the brick. So at least the bricks are like laying down. They're not like standing, to make it even harder to shoot people. And I don't know, am I crazy? But like, you know, at a back center, there's what is the MBS? The mini brick stand-up. Mini brick? Like, I don't think I've ever seen that mini brick right there with that little cake right there in the back center. Someone in the chat, let me know. I've literally never seen that bunker, at least not in a very, very long time. I think the MPPL had something like that, but is that part of the new bunker set? It's not, right? Because they just added a bunch of snake beams and then took away those two cakes. And Papa Beans also, this is 5-man, right? It's not like 7-man or 10-man. I mean, I don't think it's 10-man. It doesn't look big enough to be 10-man. So it's 100 and... I'm looking at trying to look at the numbers on the field, but no, yeah, it's regular X-Ball, 5-man, yeah. It's just wild. But I don't know that little brick bunker. Like, I don't know. That little brick is like odd. I don't know about these Ruthless guys either. Let's hide their logo. Let's hide all the logos. I don't know. It's an insanity. Hopefully there's some like videos that come out from that. We'll actually get to see what it's all about. But it looks pretty crazy. Nobody knows what the brick is. Nobody's saying anything in the chat. You gotta let me know if I'm crazy or maybe there's like a bunch of them and I'm just an idiot and I've never noticed before. Dub said, not gonna lie, I know what that means. To be fair, I knew what all of them meant. I paid to watch this live. It looks crazy. Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, I'd pay upwards of 50 cents. 50 cents is what you're gonna get me to pay to watch this. Oh, we gotta hide the Ruthless logo. Wild. So the brick, that little brick is not the door, right? It's the juice box. Have they, I don't know though. Let's see, they actually have like the names over here. What? My computer just said there's not enough disk space to continue recording. What? That's not true. Oh well, we're not going to record this live stream. The MBS, right? There's the MBS, and then there's the giant brick. Then there's the MB. The MB is the mini brick, right? The mini brick. And then there's the MBS, the mini brick stand-up. Is it just the brick vertical? It just doesn't look like it's to scale. It doesn't look like, it looks like it's a little like nubby thing. I don't know. Who knows? Lots of running and gunning. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of movement. I can't imagine like it being a field where you just lock up zones and everybody sits around. You know, there's like so much craziness. There's so many bunkers that it's going to be like, it's going to be easy to move around. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm opening something. Hopefully it works. I don't know why my computer says it's like running out of space. There's definitely room on the hard drives to record. I don't know. I don't dare try to like move stuff around right now while I'm doing this. It'll break everything. Yeah, I don't know. So many goddamn bunkers. I mean, I hope that, like, you know, I hope the NXL's not like this. Actually, I don't know. You know, I'm not playing the NXL, so I actually hope it is like this. I hope it's just insane and everybody complains a bunch, but it's really fun to watch. That would be nice. Need to move that corn to make space. I don't, who keeps corn on their computer anymore? I mean, it's just free. I mean, you go to like, you know, Pornhub or RedTube or Xvideos, right? I mean, I used to keep corn on my computer when I was like, you know, 18, you know, and you had to like download it, and it was a much more lengthy process. But now it's just, you know, streaming everywhere. It's pretty easy. It's not too hard. I don't know. All my topics are done, so you gotta guys. Someone's gonna have to give me. You guys gotta give me something to talk about, so I don't just have to like totally wing it. What's happening this weekend at the paintball field? So I gotta shoot the Shocker Era, and like I said, I have to remove that O-ring. We'll talk about the Era. Oh, and I did fix it too. I definitely had a problem with like this thing not working. I don't know what's going on with my damn things. The Shocker Era. So it was definitely broken 2 different ways when I got this. You know, I went to take out the. It's not very good lighting right now, huh? What if we move that a little bit? I definitely, when I went to remove the solenoid to like just film the to refilm, like, I was filming B-roll for the actual review, and I was trying to film how you it has the quick removable. Does it show it how to do it in here? It has the like toolless solenoid removal, which that does not tell you, and there is no manual available still, which is kind of confusing. I pulled the solenoid wires right out of there, and it just stopped working. I got that to work, but then there was, even when it was brand new, there was a leak coming out of somewhere in the frame. It sort of sounded like it was coming from the trigger guard, but you know, there's that big hole. You know, there's a big hole right there that like the trigger sits in. So I thought that maybe just that having open made it, you know, the air come out of there, and it was just easier to see. But there were 2 bad O-rings on the actual manifold, or at least 1 bad O-ring on the manifold where it contacts the body. I just started replacing every single O-ring on that manifold, and then finally it started working. But this weekend I have to try out something with this bolt. So that's not how I wanted to do that. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't have to take it apart even. I just realized this. I'm like, I'll take this apart. So we can see right, sort of right there, there's a bunch of grease in there. We can see those 2 O-rings on the front. There's 1 and then 2, and all where it looks like there's another O-ring, it's actually just grease buildup. But if you move that center O-ring to like the back position, it will actually make the gun have a higher flow rate apparently it works better with mechanical guns like that. And then also should work a little better when it's cold weather. But I don't know, I just totally forgot to test it, so I gotta go to the field and try it out more. This is what I don't like about these. You can't just like put it in. You have to like line it up. And I don't know, you know, I don't know if I like these. I definitely don't like these. You should buy a 180R or a DSR over that. Like I said, there's no manual. They have a quick start manual, but there's no manual available even online yet, so there's nowhere to download a freaking manual. Yep. We'll see. So many freaking little problems happening. Going crazy. What's happening here? Adrenaline says, Rebel Force, I would have your normal snake corner guy take the first snake on the wire with one in front of him. Big wall. I don't know. We're talking about the layout. Double Big Mac. Yes or no? I've never even had a double Big Mac, so no. Matthew, petition to make Planet Eclipse more solenoids for the old egos again. I don't think that it's really up to them. I think that the company that was like, so here's what kind of happened. So like the old guns, right? Like, see, the LV1 is probably the one that everybody wants a solenoid for. And I mean, the big problem was that like Planet Eclipse like got an OEM solenoid. So they have a company that makes solenoids, right? And there's like 400 solenoids to choose from, and they find the one that works best for them. They're like, we'll use that. And then we want, you know, however many thousands or whatever. And I think NP, he kind of is saying that. I think, yeah, they chose their solenoid they wanted. And then the solenoid was discontinued and the manufacturer just didn't make it anymore. So now with the newer solenoids, with the LV2 solenoid at least, it's all manufactured and all made for Planet Eclipse. So they have like all the schematics and everything. So even if whoever they're having manufacture it now decides not to, they could at least take the design and go somewhere else where they couldn't do that with the previous solenoid. It's certainly a big deal. It doesn't really matter, you know, when the gun's out and, you know, within a couple years, it's not a big deal. But as we get 10 years, you know, 15 years down the line, at some point, these parts are going to be harder to find. So at least Planet Eclipse now can, you know, make those solenoids themselves or have another company contracted to make those. I'm like, pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since I've talked about solenoids and stuff. If you have enough money, you can go, Wayne Brady says, if you have enough money, you can be pro too, or at least get a spot on a pro team. I don't know. Why'd you say the NFL is funny? I don't know. I don't understand that. Nerd in New York City. I'm well. I'm doing all right, you know, as well as could be. I'm alive. That's something. Some brands, cheap solenoid retention system and less than perfect component assembly. Yep, sounds like a shocker. You betcha. Yeah, I just don't like. I mean, we've talked about this before, but you know, since we're killing time here, I'll show you guys the part that I don't like. You know, I don't even know what the point is really. Like, you know, I think that it's really cool how. Let's see if this actually worked this time. Nope. You know, I think it's really like all this toolless. Do I have freaking Allen wrenches around here? All this toolless stuff is kind of cool. That's not the right size. Oh yeah, it is. You know, all this toolless, like, you know, eye removal and, you know, bolt removal. There's toolless frame removal. This has toolless solenoid removal. Is kind of neat, right? I mean, it's cool how you can, you know, remove the solenoid without needing to take off a bunch of screws or something like that. This thing, you just pop that bar down and it kind of just plops out the front. Let's very gingerly remove the solenoid wire, the solenoid plug. You can take that out, but I mean, I hate this system, right? It's like, it's so finicky and it's like wedged in there, and you have to be extremely careful when you're removing the solenoid plug or whatever. But I don't like this. This is like just, you know, flimsy and like, I don't like it. See how this black piece already is in the wrong spot? This black piece has to be perfectly lined up. It's so hard to like show on camera, but it has to be perfectly lined up like that to even put that solenoid back in. And it's like, okay, great, it's toolless, but honestly, like, this whole system, it takes longer, I think, because of its like a delicateness. And this little plastic thing, people are going to lose that. There's like no question people are going to lose that. So we put that solenoid back in there, mount it up, and it is firm. It's definitely in place. It's not like, you know, it's going to fall off or anything. But once you do that, if you didn't plug this wire in before you put the solenoid on, it's not going to work. So you kind of have to like put it on. It's very delicate and it's hard for me to even do right now. So we're not even going to do it. I'm just going to put this over here and just totally abandon it. And I'll fix it later. It's not like the simplest thing. That little freaking plastic piece is really annoying. And you know, like I said, it's cool how it comes off, but like getting it back on, I think, is harder than it needs to be. So I don't like it. And how often do you really need to quickly remove your solenoid in the first place? I mean, I've never, ever removed my solenoid at the paintball field. Man, I'm gonna lose something. I'm bound to do it. Let's put that there. Yeah, the only use the pilot valves now, and the spool is made in-house. I'm guessing Planet Eclipses. The wire form, that's what they call it. I don't know what the wire form. The like plastic thing? Man, my knee is still not well, guys. What's your current favorite markers to shoot? I like the cheap stuff. So like the Etha 3M is literally probably, I think, the best gun you can buy. I really like the Etha 3M. And literally every time I play paintball, except, you know, when I'm gotta review something like that Shocker, I'm playing mechanical, and I don't really find all that much difference in between any of the mechanical guns. You know, whether it's the Etha 3M or the CS3 with a mechanical frame. It's like, sure, the CS3 is better, but really? I mean, maybe? Like, you know, slightly? And it's $2,150. It's $2,150 for that thing. You know, I can buy a whole handful of Etha 3Ms for that price. Yep. And I don't even have a desire to own an electric gun. So, yep. No desire to own this electric gun. You know what I'm going to do? I'm putting this gun back together. It's sitting over there looking at me, and we're going to do it. I'll zoom out a little bit so it makes it like maybe easier to kind of see what I am doing. But yeah, getting that wire back. So we got to like, I feel like put that thing down. We have to, this is the weird part. Like, I don't know entirely what order to do this in. We put the wire in. Flip that bar back over, slide the solenoid in, and I'm always scared, like I'm pushing this bar forward. It kind of freaks me out. I'm afraid, there we go. That wasn't too bad, I guess. That was pretty easy. That's literally probably the easiest I've ever done that. It's not bad. I like these like air transfer-y dealies they added. It makes it a little nicer. It's definitely simple. I mean, there's not a lot of like fluff, you know, there's not a lot of like wasted nonsense parts. There's, you know, very few screws and stuff. So it's not like, it's like super over engineered or anything crazy like that. Where did I put the screw at? 360 cameras. Golly. I much prefer a longer Allen's too. Boop, 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 boop. It's working. Look at this trigger. Watch this. See how it moves? That makes it feel not so great. Steven Jackson, it's paintball question time. Yeah, I actually filmed paintball. I actually filmed a paintball question time video today, which is kind of crazy. It's the first paintball question time we've done in forever. Now I gotta put this gun away in the box, or I will lose it. I think it would be interesting for the referees to have live cameras on them. That way you can get footage while on the field. For sure. I mean, most of the time when we're talking about like, you know, camera angles and that kind of stuff, I'm talking about Go Sports and like, you know, the way they film pro paintball. Would definitely be cool to see a ref cam. I know they've done it before. I know that I've seen it. It might not have been during a live stream. But I know that I've seen referees have cameras like mounted to their heads while they're reffing and stuff like that. It probably doesn't need to be 360 though. I mean, as long as you have like, you know, they could just mount like a camera to their, like a GoPro to the front of your head, and it's so freaking wide. It doesn't really need to be 360. You don't need to be like filming that way really. Because most of the time, you know, if you're a ref, you're going to be watching the game. It's not like the game's this way and you're looking over here, and then they got to use like the back camera angle. You probably couldn't even hear me, but yep. Or have a live camera on top of each bunker. Yeah, that'd be cool too. But I mean, we're running out of money here. You know how much that costs? And it'd be really difficult to mount it on a bunker because the bunkers are moving around and whatever. I think you can kind of accomplish with just one or two drones. I mean, you can kind of accomplish all that stuff with just having drone shots, just like Anthony said. I mean, drones make excellent footage. I mean, one of the coolest things about drones is you can like follow the player, right? So like, you know, you're running and shooting off the break. You can have that drone just like following behind you. Which we have seen. I mean, the NXL has definitely started to, or Go Sports, I should say, has definitely started to implement having more drone shots coming up. My first Gen Dynasty Shocker and the O2 HK Speed. Oh, like at O2. O2 HK Speed. What is that? Would be my 2000 to 2010 choice. I hate shockers. I've never really liked shockers. I've just never really owned a shocker that worked. You know, I've not owned any of the new ones, so it's not like I've ever owned an RSX or, you know, an amp or an Era. I mean, I have used all of them and reviewed most of them, but I never really owned a personal gun. I have owned an SFT, multiple SFTs and multiple NXTs. Those things just never worked. An O2 Speed. I don't know if there was an O2 Angel Speed. Wasn't it like the 04 Speed? It's probably an 04 Speed with HK, with like eyes, right? They drilled the eyes or something like that. Because I was thinking about that other HK gun. What other HK gun were they pushing? What was that other gun? The Legend. The Infinity Legend. Infinity Legend. Was it 03 though? 03, 04? I can't remember. It definitely wasn't 2002. I never had one of those. I had an 05 speed. Yep. Rebel 4 says, Tony from Lone Wolf Paintball would love to have a moment of your time to talk about his Lord and Savior. Shocker. I thought he was going to be real and talk to me about Jesus. Oh, man, religious people. All you got to do is ask why constantly. You're like, he's your Lord and Savior. I'm like, how do you know that? Of this old-ass Bible? You're like, what? What the fuck? Why aren't we just talking about astrology then? Man, I don't like shockers. Never liked a shocker. I don't know. I never wanted a shocker. I had a Tauntaun shocker that was really cool looking, and everyone wanted it, but it was a piece of shit. I think I had a red Dynasty shocker. That would have been an SFT. Aaron Mansfield says, I always wanted to try the 09 Impulse. That'd be cool too. So would I. I don't know. You said you've never seen one in person. I've had to have seen one in person. Because they actually made a 50 cal version of that as well. A 50 caliber version. 50 cal's crazy. I once played with an Ego 11 with the 50 cal conversion kit. And then there was a special hopper. Ben, was your Tauntaun shocker the 666 one? Mine was serial number 13. Which might be worse. Apparently they'd never really made 13 serial numbers until like My Gun or something like that. That's what someone was telling me. Yeah, I played 50 cal with an Ego 11 and like the 50 cal kit, and there was the Spider Fasta electric hopper that fed 50 caliber, but it was normal hopper size. You know, so even though the paintballs are like, 50 cal's like this big compared to, 68, it's like, half the size roughly. And that hopper, even though it was 50 cal, it was still normal hopper size. And you could put 450 paintballs inside that normal hopper. So imagine imagine this revolution being able to hold 400 paintballs. It's crazy. It's like you don't even need pods anymore. It's like all you really need is one pod, and then you got 1,000 shots pretty much. It's pretty crazy how much paint it would hold. It just seemed like I never needed to reload. It shot absolutely terrible though. It never, I don't know, the paint I had was just all over the place and it was just all weird. So I think I only played with it for like a little bit. Robo 4 says, I had a red and black TM40 serial number 666. That's pretty cool. I don't really remember the serial number on that gun, like the Tauntaun shocker. I can't like visualize it. But we were at a tournament and the shocker employee told me that, so I don't remember. I definitely remember that. Bluetooth hoppers? No need to carry paint. What? My friend Anthony has an adrenaline shocker, the actual adrenaline shocker that I did a review on this YouTube channel, and his serial number is 420. Right? Is it? Let's find out. Not an adrenaline shocker. I cannot type. Let's check out this video and see if I'm crazy. Let's close some of this. Look at that cool intro. In the late 90s and early 2000s. I was also super skinny earlier. This is when I was like 420. Look at how good that looks though. It looks so good. Always really liked the milling on these things. It reminds me of that like diamond, that stainless diamond, whatever. We seem to be talking about adrenaline like a freaking lot recently. There's that snake trigger. We're going back. We don't need to watch old videos. Go find that if you want to watch it. Hell yeah. That beautiful cup of water. I can hear still, there we go. We could playing. Christian, have you ever played in New Jersey? Nope. Nope. You know, I've not played I've not like played a lot of places. I mean, California is like the place I've played 99.99% of my paintball. That, Florida, and I've played a handful of times in Florida. Chris Williams? With that 1999 super chat, you're amazing. I appreciate it so much. Chris Williams, if you're Chris Williams that owns Virtue Paintball, I was thinking about emailing you. Probably not, but I just thought about that today. Either way, thank you. You know, super chats, people buying merch, people, you know, there's a lot of ways you can help support this thing. And it's very, very, very much appreciated. I was going to say something else. I totally lost my train of thought right there. I don't know what the heck I was saying. Christian, Virtue. Was it Virtue I was thinking about? I don't know. I need hoppers for a video. I want to make a... You know, I've been kind of interested in why, like, so many... Well, we kind of know why so many teams like AC Diesel and Damage are both using the Halo 2, a hopper that's 20 years old. And I've been kind of curious, like, why or like what performance differences they might have from using those hoppers. So I need to like track down hoppers. I don't want to have to buy like $400 worth of hoppers. So I got a Halo 2 from Empire. They're sending me a Halo 2 thanks to John Dresser. Shout out John Dresser and Empire. But I need to get a Spire. Yeah, I don't know. I need to get some other hoppers, and I want to be able to like compare, because apparently, you know, the Halo 2 is maybe a little bit better performing. Christian said, weird question, but I need news to write about for an English class. You got anything? Not really. We talked about pro paintball, right about that. If money wasn't a factor, you were able to be a part of the NXL coaching staff. Which would you like to be on? Like, which pro team would I want to coach? I mean, I could be like the pod guy. You certainly don't want me coaching. I'd be like, why didn't you shoot that guy? I'm like, we just got to shoot guys. That'd be my advice. Just shoot all the guys. Shoot those 5 guys. That's my coaching extent. You should come to Paintball Republic and play the Robin Hood scenario. I'm guessing maybe in New Jersey. That's way too far away. It's like, I'd love to do that. That's way too far away. Some brains. The sponsor has Halos to sell. The players say something nice. So there you go. I don't know. I mean, I actually was going to, like... I have 2 things I was going to try to do. I want to do with that Halo, like, performance test kind of thing. And then I also have a video that I wanted to put that is called, would be a working title, of what happened to the JT Triad. So we might do that at the same time. I might do like the test on the hoppers and then be like, follow it up with a what the hell happened to a Triad. Because that's kind of what's weird, right? They had the Triad and then they don't have them to sell. So like you said, right? They're going to use the things that they actually can sell, like the Halo 2s, which is weird. Adrenaline! With a $20 super chat. Freaking awesome. I appreciate it so much. If we're talking about Adrenaline, yeah, of course. I mean, I talk about everybody, except for Ruthless. We don't talk about Ruthless. I don't like Ruthless. You got ya. Now I'll write super chats off as advertising. Yeah, you can. I mean, you probably can. I mean, yeah, why not? Who knows? They're not going to know. I mean, unless you get audited. They're like, where's this $20 coming from? And you're like, I don't know. It was used for advertising. Write-offs are cool, but not at the same time, right? You're like, I still got to spend the money, and then you got to get the taxes. And I appreciate it, though. You should give me an idol and write it off. It's only Hydra. Let's say you had the opportunity to be sponsored. Everyone's like, let's just pretend you could do this. Let's just say you had the opportunity to be sponsored for as long as you play paintball. What brand, along with all of their past future gear, would you pick? Planet Eclipse, for sure. Yep. It's hard though, right? Because they don't really make a lot of stuff. They make guns. They make some pads. About all. You know, unfortunately, there's not a company that's really making everything. You know, you think back to like 10 years ago, we were talking about Empire. And you could have picked Empire. And you could have been like, yeah, I'll go with a Vanquish. I'll get a Z2. You know, I'll get an E-Flex. I'll get their pants and pads and, you know, everything. But now this like, you know, you got to kind of like have a bunch of different like whatever. Ben says, go for an Exalt sponsorship. I really like Exalt. All the little bits, and you don't want to rebuy barrel bags, squeegees, etc. Dude, I don't need to buy barrel covers. I am set for life. But it's all cheap, you know. I can spend, you know, $10 on a swab or, you know, $8 on a new barrel cover, but I don't want to spend, you know, $2,000 on a new gun when it comes out. Well, that's just too much money. I don't got that kind of money. When does the Idol launch? I don't know. I mean, we were supposed to see the Idol at the end of January, and it's pretty much the end of January. I don't know. I keep expecting to like get an email or like, you know, see something on Instagram or, you know, see something, but, you know, still there's nothing out there. Aaron's got a big old long one. Just thought of this. May be wacky, but hear me out. All right. 10.2 or 10.5 is the current cap, right? Yeah, 10.2, and I don't really know why. Like, why 10.2 and not 10.5? Because it's been 10.5 in the past. What if, as a 5-man team, each player's marker were connected on the same network? When a player gets out, they click a button and increase their remaining 4 players to 11 balls a second. 2 eliminated equals 12 balls a second. For the remaining 3, that'd be actually really cool. I know we've honestly kind of talked about like something. It would be very interesting to play like that. It'd be weird, but then I don't know. I think about like, we always think about like, what does that actually add? And I don't know if that really like adds much, although it would be really fun to experiment with. I mean, we've kind of done something similar to that. Not really similar, but there's always been talk about like, as soon as a player gets shot, you turn their equipment off or whatever so they can't shoot anymore. I mean, back in the day, the MPPL, like 2010 or 8, 6, somewhere in there, they actually had RF transmitters. So in between the solenoid, and like the board of the main gun, they put like this little transmitter inside there, and it would actually detect how much paint you shot. So they could actually get statistics on who had the highest rate of fire and which team shot the most paint and stuff. That was really cool. So it's not like it wouldn't be possible, but we have to get all the like manufacturers on board, and like, how do you like, you know, send that out? Are we like, I don't know how to like send the information out. I don't think you couldn't be Bluetooth. I don't know. It would be interesting though. That's a very unique whatever, not opinion, a suggestion, but I like it. It would be interesting. Alexander, I like my Ether 3 though, and have heard that the shot quality on the CS1 is way better than the Gamma Core in the Ether. I don't think so. I mean, I definitely don't think so. You know, I really, really liked my Geo 3.5. The Geo 3.5 was the gun right before the CS1. And the only real difference between the CS1 and the 3.5 was the ergonomics. I mean, they changed the bolt around a little bit, but primarily is they got rid of that transfer pipe. They changed a bunch of stuff up physically on the gun. They didn't shoot all that much different. But, you know, I shot a CS1 a couple weeks ago and then shot a Geo 4. The Geo 4 has the exact same bolt system as the CS1, and I don't like it as much. I mean, it's very like laggy. It sounds weird. It just doesn't feel as nice to me, and I certainly like the way the Gamma Core guns shoot. Way better than certainly the Geo 4, and definitely I think than the CS1. I try to remember back to like my 3.5, and I think that I would like these newer guns better. Like, I'd probably prefer the way the Ether 3 shoots over my 3.5. You know, I really just liked the 3.5. The ergonomics were good, and I just liked the way the thing felt in my hand. But comparatively, you know, I think I'd go to the Gamma Core guns. Yep. But it's all just kind of preference. You know, they're not like, it's not like that crazy. It's not like, you know, twice as much more kick, and like, it's not that insane. It's very like minimal differences. They all shoot fantastic, so you can't really go wrong. But I do think I like the Gamma Core more. Rebel 4 says, similar idea. Radio comms between players. Their radio gets cut with eliminated. Would be great for broadcasting to Call of Duty League. See, I don't know Call of Duty though at all. Call of Duty League will do listen-ins during the match. You could totally do that. I mean, they've definitely done like mic'd up players before, so you could certainly wear a microphone. Didn't they do that in World Cup? Yes, they even did that at World Cup. I mean, one of the problems with live audio like that, though, is you got to put the microphone somewhere, and it's just a little weird. It never really sounds that good. I mean, especially what we're doing. I mean, when, you know, the NFL does it, it sounds great. But, you know, paintball, it's like, yeah. Renee, is Aftershock going to be the Ironman 2.0? I don't think so. I think that we might see a handful of players or a couple players go over there, but it's highly unlikely the whole team. Like, you know, Jordan Boyum lives here in Sacramento. I don't think he'd be playing for Aftershock. I mean, Al Fernandez, not going to be playing for Aftershock, but I do think they're going to pick up, or possibly, you know, get Nick Sloviak and Keith DeVitt. Keith DeVitt and Nick both played last year. But I think that'd be a good idea for them. Like, that's not like a bad thing necessarily. But we'll have to wait to see and find out. Ben says, I had a Geo 4 as well after shooting a CS1. The one that got me to buy it was nice, but overall it was a mistake and I don't regret ditching it. My CS2 is much more responsive feeling. Yeah, I think it's just like quicker. Like, it's just like the bolt seems like quicker. It's like snappier and crisper or something. I don't think that means like, it doesn't mean it necessarily kicks more or is louder. It just feels like it's like quicker. Like, it doesn't feel like as much lag. And I honestly think that lag or something like that, it might, like the bolt being quicker or feeling quicker at least, might result in them like kicking more and feeling different when they shoot, and I like that. So, but then Money Mike says 777 too. Geo4 is the way to go. He loves it. Love the shot signature for some reason. Yeah, it's just kind of preference, right? It's not like we're shooting like a spider, an old spider compared to like, the Geo4 or something like that. All this stuff is so minimal. It's like the video I put out last week. It's just like, what's the point of high-end guns? It's like they all kind of shoot the same and everything's reliable and everything's good. And there's just not that big of a difference. I don't know. Some brains. Dye needs to fund something like the roster for the Ironman and Shock rebuilds. It would be really cool. I mean, I'd do it. I could go film it and put it all together. That's something I would actually really like to do. But, the funding and getting all that stuff is difficult. I can't afford to fly myself around to paintball tournaments. Old Soul. They are going to look to cut a couple from the Ironman, so a couple might just go now, so they know they're set. I don't understand. Or they agree to be the men with a caveat of trying out for Aftershock. What was kind of crazy is that they had pro players that are currently on pro teams at the Aftershock tryout, I'd be like, what? You're not on this team anymore. I'd be cutting people. I'm like, you're done. I mean, you're going to go try out for other teams right now? I really wish this camera was super close so we can go like super wide angle like that. I kind of like it. It's Only Hydra says, we need to have more collegiate paintball or college paintball is really what you said. Then we have to start having drafts. I mean, yeah, that'd be great, but that's like, a kabillion years into the future. Andrew Sexton, do you think Dizon is going to Aftershock? Isn't he originally from Chicago? Yeah, I think he still lives there. I'm not really actually sure where Ronnie lives, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, leaving Houston Heat or, a team like Heat Impact, any of those teams that are very good and win often or get at least close to winning often and get paid, it would be hard for me to see them leaving, right? Like it'd be hard if I was Ronnie to leave a situation like that where it'd be really cool to play maybe for Aftershock again. I think it'd just be very difficult to leave Houston Heat. Like I wouldn't do it, if I was him. Wonder if Shock will have any players in their 20s. They may need an Advil sponsorship. That's funny. Everyone's old now. I mean, you think about all the old players. I mean, they had Carlos Cortez. Silos was at the tryouts. So maybe maybe he's under 20. I mean, if he's like 20, 25 or something like that. Saw Dizon and Sloviak at Paintball Explosion. So if they're at Paintball Explosion, they're definitely still in Chicago. I think Nick lives in like Wisconsin or something crazy though, right? Maybe we just keep doing this the whole entire thing. Make someone nauseous. Old guys. Yeah, it seems like the whole entire league is old though. I mean, if you go up and down the rosters, it's like everyone's just old. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing though. I mean, I would like it to see like more maybe people fighting younger players or new up and coming players fighting for those positions. But it's very difficult. I mean, there's not a lot of guys on rosters. I mean, you got to think that at these tournaments, the NXL, I mean, a lot of the teams are playing like 8 to 9 guys. It's not like they have like 15-man rosters like they did back in the day. And there just aren't a lot of tournaments. I think paintball's gotten to the point where equipment is really good, the paint's really good, like all of everything's really good at this point. And it's definitely coming down more to experience and just kind of understanding what to do. And certainly for myself, as I get older and as I've gotten older, when I was in my 20s, I could not have played pro. I just couldn't have. It wasn't there for me. I didn't have the mental capability. I couldn't focus as much. I wasn't as thoughtful. But certainly as I've gotten older, I physically can't do it, and I don't have the desire to do it, but I mentally at least could get closer than I could in my 20s. So there's no question, I think that the older players are smarter, they've experienced more, and they're just really, really good. I mean, there's nobody out there replacing some of these old guys, you know, like Jason Edwards or Ryan Greenspan. We look at some of the other rosters. You have like Sam Monville and like Chad George and like all those guys. They're all old too, but all extremely, extremely good because they have so much experience playing paintball. Who knows? Mike, we're going to call him Mike White. I don't know if your name's Mike, but we're going to go with that. Mike White says, until the Youngbloods can dethrone animals like Greenspan, the argument of youth prevailing in paintball isn't super valid. It'll only get you so far, whereas proven game experience will win almost every time. Yeah, for sure. And I think that like back in the day too, we think 20 years ago, when Greenspan and all those guys were coming up, paintball was different too. And I think that because the equipment wasn't as good and the paint wasn't as good, we kind of relied on being aggressive a little bit more and like speed and athleticism. Whereas now I feel like the guns shoot so straight and like the paint's so good, you might not have to rely on athleticism and bunkering people as much. Or you can like sit and shoot or snap shoot people out now. Whereas I kind of couldn't do that. Sunbrain says, I was chasing ass in my 20s. Yeah, I was too. I was going to say I was kind of an ass, but I really wasn't an ass. I've never been an asshole. I was just an idiot, you know? Just an idiot, so. And just an idiot. We need to get Doritos to sponsor the Doritos. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm surprised they don't sue somebody. I mean, I don't know who they would sue. Whew. Michael McGowan from the Ironman is a highlight machine. I feel like he needs more recognition. You know, one of the big problems too is that like you think about most of the people that are like paintball famous, and we think about the Dynasty guys or certainly some of the players from Houston Heat, and most of those guys are, I think, famous because of stuff they didn't do, right? I mean, you gotta think that like all the videos we had back in the day, and there was just much more like production value and effort spent into making paintball content. And they were like able to feature more pro players, and they were like talking to more pro players and just doing more with those players. And nowadays we don't really see that. So I feel that like those same guys are still popular and famous, whereas like there are players in the NXL who are very good, like Mike McGowan, but because there's not as much like video stuff or, you know, whatever, there's just less opportunity for them to grow and to get fans like we could back in the day. I mean, you know, you have people making content that's much more unique now. I mean, you have me making stuff. There's, you know, Will Ball for Soup, he's making stuff. You've got Matt the Gym Rat. There's definitely people making things, but it's not like the same as like it was, where you had, like Zach said, Dirter was great, where we had those Dirter videos that were like an hour long, and like, you know, 15 to 20 minutes of it was just players talking and like seeing the players interact and, you know, just learning about who these people are. And there's not really like that anymore. I mean, obviously we have social media and people can do a good job at that and, you know, grow their brand themselves. And some of them have continued doing that. I mean, we see Ryan Greenspan, he's continued to do that, or he started doing that at least, and continues. Where we have a lot of pro guys that don't even do anything, you know. They don't have an Instagram account. If they do, it's private and they don't ever post anything. I think that most of those people could benefit probably from doing that. And yeah, I actually made something back in the day called like How to Get Paintball Famous or something like that, and talked about all that stuff. Chris Lasoya is famous because he's hot. I mean, he's a grown man with a ponytail. That's all we gotta say. Maybe I should grow a ponytail. It'd just be like, it wouldn't be like a full ponytail though. It'd be more like one of those like Asian like ponytails that like senseis have or some shit. I don't know. Short bus would be sick, but I'm not sure if it would be too PC anymore or something like that. Yeah, people get offended at everything. I mean, like, people get offended at the stuff I say. Like, I don't know. I don't know, though. They don't know if... I don't even remember Short Bus. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember even the things they talked about. Would it have been, like... Did they say a bunch of, like, crazy stuff about, like, Mexicans and stuff? That wouldn't be good. I don't think so, though. I want it. Give me the least PC stuff you can get. Like... You know, I think that the best thing ever created, like no joke, guys, the best thing ever to be on the internet is this right here. The Kill Tony. Kill Tony is on YouTube. They do 6 p.m. standard time, Monday evenings. Whoa, what's this? So this is the... They did a live stream and like an event. They had like played an arena for New Year's. This is the best thing ever on the internet. I mean, I don't care. Like the best TV show ever made, the best content ever made, the best podcast ever made. It's Kill Tony. So if people want to watch like un-PC things, or you know, have fun and watch people actually like talk like you do with your friends and maybe be way funnier than you could ever imagine. Kill Tony is literally the best podcast and the best thing on the internet ever. Literally ever. Hands down. There's nothing ever been better made. I will stand by that until I die. So... Kill Tony is highly guest dependent. No, it's not. Tony's funny no matter what it is. Yeah. It's totally not. I mean, I guess if like, you know, I mean, obviously dude, I've seen so much of this, so we could talk for hours. I think Derek Postman's pretty funny, but the problem with this too is that it depends on like who the guest is kind of too, because this show they just talk shit to people. It's really like just them talking shit to people and making fun of people. So you've got to have someone that's willing to do that. So some of these people aren't really comfortable with that. Like, you know, I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I can't like just talk shit and make fun of people. It's very outside of my nature. Stavros, it's outside of Stavros's nature. Tim Dillon can do it. He's really good. In that aspect, I could see it matters. We should talk. I should like a Kill Tony podcast. But honestly, your best Kill Tony podcasts are going to be the old ones. You know, I really, really prefer the band. I miss the old band with Joel Jeremiah. It was great. Anyway, stop talking about Kill Tony. It's the greatest thing literally ever to exist. Let's talk about Kill Tony. All right. I'm probably more of a Kill Tony expert than I am a paintball expert. Dude, I see every episode. Like, you know, it's 6 o'clock on Monday night. I'm watching Kill Tony, and then I'll watch episodes throughout the week. You know, I'm all about it. Zach said, I want to see William when he came near you. I went to see William when he came. That's cool. I've definitely never seen him live. Have you ever been to the store? Oh, a Kill Tony. I was like, the store, like the Kill Tony store. I've never actually been to Kill Tony. Nope. I started watching it during COVID, and then they moved to Texas quickly after. I mean, I've been to the Comedy Store. I went 2 years ago, a year ago, but it was I guess 2 years ago. But it's kind of weird now because their lineup's just not the same. But Kill Tony is literally the best thing ever to exist. Isn't Paintball the greatest? Nope, Kill Tony's the greatest. If you're a Kill Tony fan, do you listen to Chubby Behemoth? Nope. What even is Chubby Behemoth? If it's a straight up podcast, let's just find out. We started talking about Kill Tony, and the viewership just completely dropped off. Why does it sound familiar? Nathan Lund. Do I know Nathan Lund? I know who Sam Talent is. Who is Nathan Lund? Do I know him? Oh, look at this. Is that him? It's funny. I don't know. I know Sam Talent for sure. How do they podcast? And I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts either, really. Kill Tony, I literally sit down and watch it like a TV show. Sam Talent's awesome, though. The only podcast I actually listen to is a beautiful thing called Stuff You Should Know. It's the greatest thing ever. Toxic Gaming, how you doing? I'm doing all right. No one asked this, but who's my favorite Kill Tony guest? Probably Jay Okerson. I think that Big J is probably the best guest on that show. I'm a huge fan of Mark Norman, so I think Mark's also a very good guest. But probably Jay Okerson. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. I just wish I was funny. I don't get it. I've never tried to be funny or write jokes or anything like that. So it's very difficult for me. And I think it's because I've always tried to, I always want to know the right stuff and be correct and whatever. So it's hard for me to do that. I just don't I don't really have that part of my brain. It's just difficult. I feel that I know words and I can talk, but I don't know. M. White says, okay, we're talking about paintball again. I'm low-key excited for the season, but the bunker count for the NXL is still pissing me off. But we don't know if they're using all the beams, though. I'm just not convinced anyone said they wanted more beams. That's true. That's very true. I think we would have taken more of anything else but beams. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want more big bunkers, though. I hear you. I mean, but they're not going to put all the beams on the field either. I highly doubt we're going to see all of them. We talked about this earlier at the MVPS, the Maximum Velocity Paintball Series in Florida. I'm right, it's in Florida. Maybe it's in Alabama. I don't know. Look at all the goddamn snake beams on that bunker or that layout. I really hope we don't see this. I mean, that's just way too many bunkers. I mean, look at all those bunkers. It's just way too many bunkers. So if they do something like that, I'm totally with you. But until we actually see it, we'll have to decide. I'd be cool if they stacked all the beams up. What if they put all the beams, just made a big wall at the 50? Just a snake beam wall. It would be great. We'll have to find out. We're going to have to wait a little bit. Corey Wilson, this is Hans Kim. This is Hans Kim. Da, 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 da. They also made William try to sing multiple times, and I think he freestyled a song once about his dog. He was like, my little dog, yesterday. That song. And then they tried to get him to sing it again, and he's like, oh, no. He didn't know. He didn't even know. That's pretty funny. When is that, by the way? I don't know. The MVPS. Jesus Christ, there's too many goddamn buttons. Media. The media button. February 16th to the 18th. Or if we were talking about Kill Tony is on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. I actually even thought about like trying to like work for them somehow. I feel that like they could use an assistant. Although it's gotten a little better. Giant middle beam wall. Make a car wash out of the beams. I like that. Just have a big arch. You could totally build an arch. That would be pretty good. I like the arch. We're losing people. The more I talk about Kill Tony, the faster people drop off. That's okay. You guys are friggin' missing out. We gonna watch Kill Tony later? No. Not tonight. This is Thursday. All right, well, I'm going to go. I think this has run its course. We ran through everything. We talked about Austin FSU in Europe. We talked about Axel Gaudin. We talked about X Factor. We showed that gun off. You know, that's about all. If you guys like this content and you want me to keep making stuff and support this whole thing, maybe check out the Patreon. There's a Patreon there's a Patreon link in the description of this video, or you can just, Paintball ruined my life. It's pretty easy to find. There's a couple tiers in there. Check them out. You can get some exclusive content. That's probably the coolest thing you're going to get in both of those for either $5 or $10 a month. But you can get into that raffle right there, or the giveaway, I should say, with the gold tier. Check it out. Patreon. Yep. Corey Wilson says, see you at Capital Edge Sunday. I'll be there. Although I don't know. I'm probably not going to play, though. I don't really know what's happening yet. Manuel signed up for the gold the other day. Thank you, sir. It's much appreciated. There will for sure be stuff up on the Shocker era. I'm going to for sure have like some cool like Adelios. Oh, Nate! I was thinking about you today. I was going to text you and ask if you moved. I was going to be like, how'd it go? What's going on? Where are you? Did you guys die in a flood? I don't know. I don't think your super chat went through. Don't worry about it. You're good. Yep. I don't know. You caught me literally right as I was leaving. Yep. Practicing with the Wolverines. I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta shoot the Shocker again because I messed up. I don't know. I also have these adrenaline inserts, but I need a radar. I got the adrenaline inserts that have they're SAS inserts that have like the damn face tracking makes it hard to focus. The SAS inserts. These inserts have like what's the word I'm looking for? They have Teflon like baked into the aluminum. Apparently they're gonna get better velocity, so maybe I'll check those out this weekend, but I gotta have a radar, unfortunately. That would be a good thing. The freak SAS adrenaline inserts, that would be a good Patreon style thing. Toxic Gaming, you hopping off? Yeah, I am. It's about that time. I start to get tired. We get 2 hours in and I'm like, it's the end of the day. I filmed the video today. I filmed Paintball question time today. And I wrote part of a video today, so today was a long day. All right. I'm out of here. Come back, Thursday. It feels like I'm really far away from this, but I'm really like, it's just right there. Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do another one of these. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We kind of have to just wait until we see what happens. Toxic Gaming, one more time. Before you hop off, where should I go to get cosmetic stuff for my eMech? I really like, damn it, I can't think of any makeup stores. Sephora? I don't know. I mean, if I had an eMech and I wanted to, Paintball DNA is a very good one. Old Soul says in the chat. Paintball DNA makes a bunch of cool stuff. Paintball DNA. There is... God damn it. Who's the other company that makes like 3D printed parts? God damn it. Somebody help me out. Super Stanchi. Yep, Stanchi Customs Design. Super Stanchi Customs. They make a bunch of cool like bits and stuff for eMechs. But I think that if I was doing it, I'd probably find like a 3D printed body. I don't entirely know who's making like really cool 3D printed bodies right now, but there's a bunch of neat options. Inception Designs is fantastic. I mean, they make a bunch of very cool bodies, but they're really expensive. They're like hundreds of dollars. So to spend hundreds of dollars on just the body for your gun that's only, $200 seems weird to me. But I would say Paintball DNA and Super Stanchi for sure. They make, or Staunchy, Super Staunchy Customs. They make a bunch of like neat and just cool stuff, not just cosmetic things. I would look into that. Okay, now I'm going. Guys, enjoy the rest of your night. I suggest watching Kill Tony. Come back, report on your Kill Tony experience. I want to know how it went. You've literally only played twice, but I definitely want to keep playing the sport. Well, good. Keep at it. Okay. Guys, I love you.